Right, hello, welcome to Click to Unlock's walkthrough of the new Thief game. This is Chapter 4, A Friend in Need. Is a friend indeed. Yeah, he's also a really annoying level, in case you didn't know. Anyway, right, so first of all, on the balconies, your first bit of loot, if you just follow around, you'll see this kind of balcony that you can get on here. There's a couple of bits of loot here to get on. This is a walkthrough with all collectibles. But I think I'm missing one bit of loot. Again, might be two on this occasion. But again, I told you in the last video, if you've been watching the series, I'm making this a challenge for you. This is a chance for you to integrate with me, and then we can get along and help each other. That's how it works. Right, so the first little area that you need to get to is once you've done that little bit of loot and come down here, put a rope in there, so you need some rope arrows, and this is like your first little secret area. We have a gold pocket watch on the chair, and a little box full of goodies. But most importantly, very easy to miss. Underneath the bench here is a little ring, and that is lapis lazuli circle. I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, right. So now we can head back up the rope and into the boxes. I don't know. But this basically takes us out to Eastwick's grand house. Now, there's various ways to get into this house. There's a few different methods. I think each have their merits. But in order for this one to kind of do a clean sweep of all the loot, I decided to take this route. Anyone knows what this handle does? Please leave it in the comments. I'm not sure what that handle does. I kind of pushed it, had a look around. I couldn't see any real need for it really, but I'm sure it does something, so please let me know if you know what the handle does. But if you move around this side to the right, because it's the easiest way to be to avoid detection and generally just get through easily, you can use a blunt arrow on these ladders here, and this takes you right up to the roof and a ventilation shaft into the roof. As I said, there is other ways in. You can go in the front door, there's another balcony, and there is also a secret entrance in the greenhouse, which is very handy if you want to do a speed run of this level. I might do one of those soon. Look for an annotation around here. If I've done it, it will appear about now. But there is no loot in that way, I don't think. I had a look around, but there was food and poppies and stuff, but I didn't see any actual loot. So in order to do a clean sweep of the loot in the house, I decided to come up the top way here, which brings you into this room with these two ladies talking. Now, I thought that I'd just try this to be just proper ghost-like now. Proper ghost-like. So let's take the necklace off of her neck while she's talking. Candlestick up here. You might see something flash over the other side of the room by the maid. It's a bit of food, so it's not essential. But there is this safe with a very tricky lock on it, and there is a bird next to this safe. And if you miss any of the locks and it clicks, the bird will detect you and reveal your presence. So you have to be very careful on this safe if you want to try and get a ghost or stealth playthrough, basically. But that's how you do this room nice and smoothly and cleanly without any detection, if you was looking to do that anyway. I'm not sure. I think I do get detected in this mission at some point, but you know, at this point I'm undetected, and if you wanted to play through, that's how you'd do it. So make sure there's a couple of bits of loot in here to grab, and then we can head out onto the landing. So on here you've got candles everywhere, so if you want to do this like more ghost-like again, make sure you take out the candles. Love the dark. There's a crossbow guy on patrol up here. I decided to basically take him out because you need to go down the stairs because there's some loot in the room down there, and he kind of always looking down on these stairs, so it would be possible, because he does turn his back and he does kind of look the other way, it would be possible to ghost down there if you've got the patience to wait, but I didn't. I only want the loot, and quite frankly I'm still undetected, so the way I see it, that's just the same. A little bit of loot on the table there, but chuck a left and head up the stairs here. There's a guard banging on the door, trying to get in the room that you eventually end up in, but you could take him out. But again, I thought I'd go into ghost mode. I'd take these candles out. But there's a painting here, and this is the first kind of real collectible that we're going to pick up on this mission. Lovely. Brilliant. And yeah, it's up to you. Take them out if you want to take them out. If you don't, don't. So that's... we've nearly done all the rooms on this floor. There is one more room. But I decided to come downstairs first because I wanted to just grab a few of these bits of loot down here. I probably should have just done the room upstairs, I guess. But it's a tricky room, and it's the room I get detected in, basically, and that. So, but we'll come to that in a minute. So you can take out that candle. There's these little alcoves. You can take out this guy. He basically just does a loop around the stairs. So there's two little alcoves, one on each side. Very handy just to take him out. There's this room here with the model of a building in it and the like. There's also a bird in here, so if you want to remain undetected, try and come around this way of the room and stay quiet. Don't run around or slide around or anything. The bird will detect you. Note ink bottle on the desk, but there's also a little button hidden around here which reveals a safe. The same case with this one. Don't click. Make sure you get all the combinations right there. Don't mess up a click, otherwise the bird will detect you if you're going for undetecting. Oh, make sure you do pick up the collectible though, because there is an actual collectible in that safe. That's the second one so far. Right, so now sneak out of this room. This is back down in at the bottom of the stairs. There's a bird there, but if you're slow and methodical, he will remain pretty happy in his cage, sitting there watching you thieve. Love it. And that's basically all of downstairs except for the kitchen. There's a kitchen now, is out there. It's at this point I then remembered that there was a whole room upstairs that I hadn't actually gone in yet, and I figured it would be better to go and deal with that one before we go into the kitchen, because we can go into the kitchen and that will lead us to where we need to go anyway, which I'll explain in a second. So head back upstairs, or do this while you're upstairs, would be more advisable. And there's this other room here, of which there's a guard and a maid in here. There's also a secret entrance, which they're talking about on the bookshelf, where the guy there, the guard is. You can get in there, and that enables you to get into a lift that will take you upstairs. But that would mean missing out in the kitchen and cellar area potentially. So you can go through that way, but we're not going to, and this guard's going to see me and mess with my karma, so I knock him out. And I'm a little bit annoyed now because I was undetected up to this point and I was going for a pretty good go, so I knock her out as well. Right, so I've lost my undetected, but, you know, in that room you can use water arrows, take out the fire. That will confuse the guard, and then you'll probably be able to take him out in the darkness. You have to do it pretty quick, otherwise he'll relight the fire. But it's a tricky room to do that undetected, really. It's definitely one of the challenges of this level, to do it undetected. Right, so we're into the kitchen. Make sure you check these cupboards. The cupboards have various bits of loot in them, food and the like. Grabbing all the food you can in this level, especially in this kitchen area, there's some on the table and stuff, is handy. It is handy anyway, because it's good to have a backup of health upgrade, but in this level in particular you're going to need some food later on at a point, if you want to get all the loot as well. So I'm full up with food now. Don't forget this bottle here as well on the floor. That's easily missed. The chef, he will come up the stairs, wander around a little bit. So if you want, if I'm still carrying on this, hopefully like in a kind of stealth mode, so you can avoid him there. In the cellar down here, there is a golden bottle in the wine rack. Now we need to take out this wire box. This will enable us to be able to get into a lift in a minute, but so we use the secret button on the wine rack there, and if you hadn't have opened up the wire box, you wouldn't be able to see this lift here, and you would have to access it from the middle floor. But if you do find that, you can find this lift and now we've swept the house. So we've swept the house from top to bottom, and now we've gone from bottom to top. And in this little, and now we're kind of back on mission status, which takes us into this room. This is Eastwick's room. He's obviously not a happy chappy. Something has upset him quite badly. Perhaps the fact that the city is just falling to pieces or something, you know, and he's designed. I don't know. He's not happy though. But as you can see, there was a little document on the side which kind of gives you I think gives you like a hint to the puzzle you're about to get in a minute, but really you don't really need to read it. So you can run around here. Don't forget, on one of these shelves there is a little golden telescope, and you can also come around and break this sort of rope, and it will drop him, and if you drop him, he then drops a gold pen as well. So an easy bit of loot to miss if you had just gone on to the picture. There's two bits of loot in this room there. So head back up the ladder and round to the painting. Is it a painting? It's like a diagram. And we find the switch on this, which activates this rather elaborate puzzle. The whole room, little model city. Yeah, he had a vision. Vision didn't work. You know, just didn't work. Anyway, so this puzzle is relatively simple. The building out the window that you can see there, you've basically got to arrange the blocks to match the building outside. The kind of only tricky bit is the building that you can see, all the lights aren't on. So it kind of can be a bit deceiving, but ultimately you just have to kind of copy the window configuration. And once you've done that, you can get to this picture off the wall here. Which is plans to get into the tower that you're running to now. This kind of action sequence is on rails, pretty much. Just push the stick forward and you should get through it pretty easily. But yeah, don't hang about in any of this area. I'm not sure. The missing bits of loot that I haven't got on this, one or two pieces, I'm pretty sure they're not in this section. If you do stop in this section, you do die pretty quickly, so there's no scope for really exploring or anything there. Right, so now we get into this section here, and we have a good look at the map, and there in the top right is the code to the big safe, the 301198 code. In case you get confused with that, the code isn't 30. You know, it's the 3 digits are where the commons are, denote the first digit of each dial. I'll explain this again when it comes up. But it effectively means that the first digit is 3 and the second one is 1 and so forth, and then you go back through 0, 1, 9 I think it was. In that last section we just went through, there is a guy in that section selling stuff. He's selling food and water and stuff like that, so if you hadn't got any stuff there, that's a good opportunity to load up. Right, but anyway, when moving on, the video's going ahead of me. There's once all the destruction happens, there's 3 purses to have in this section off of dead guards. There's one by the crate there, there's one out here on its own, and then there's another one kind of in the middle of the room where one of the fallen guards is there. There it is. Right, so now we can head on through to the next section. We go down into we're into the sort of pipes of the tower now, and there's a poppy at the end here, and we move into this section here. Now this is a section for all you watching, if you want to comment on. This is one of the bits where I'm a bit confused. I might just be seeing things, I might be wrong, I don't know, but I think this is possibly where there's a bit of loot. As I'm running across this thing here, I've just paused it there. Can you see the little glimmer, the little shimmer on the rail up there? It's a loot shimmer as far as I'm concerned, but there doesn't seem to be any way to get it. I may be blind. I've looked around here, I've gone up here, looked back on this pipe and whatnot, and I've had a good old look around, and I don't know, am I missing something? Please let me know in the comments if I'm missing something there. But it looked suspiciously like that was a bit of loot, so that could be the missing part. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to move on now. We're going to power on through. So use your slide ability to get through the fire, or just catch on fire. You can do that, but I wouldn't do it too much because you'll die. Then head through here. If you go through here, you can be quick and get it first time and just run across, but if you don't, that you need to wait for the big piston to sort of fire and pull back again and get across there quickly. Right, so now we're into this section where all this poison gas and smoke and fumes is about. There's nothing in these drawers here, but there is stuff to have in this little section. So if you head right and around here, there's kind of a desk in this little section here with there's loot in these drawers, and on top of the there's a flask or something as well. Yeah, but now this is, you're actually dying at this point. You're the smoke is suffocating you. So you need to be quick picking this lock, and this is where it's good to have that food that I was mentioning earlier on, because as you're in this room here, you can have a little bit of food and pump up your health, because there's another chest in here that needs to be picked and more loot in there. And finally, there's still stuff in here. There's another set of drawers over here where you can head round and grab magnifying glass like so, hit the switch and turn to open the door, and once you're in this section you're kind of safe. You can re-health there and go back in, and if you have bought yourself the vest in the kind of upgrade guy before the mission starts, that will help you in that section as well, because it slows down how much health consumption you use. Right, when you get into this room here, look, so they've given you some food because they know that you should have been dying a little bit. Head up to this, don't press the button, head up to this end of the room, and this guy is holding one of the collectibles. And also as well, straight away, there's a plaque on the wall. So use your wrench, get that off, and we've got another collectible straight off. Don't go running off straight yet, because there is a little flask, sneaky little flask sitting on the crates there, and now we can move forward into the lift. Right, so this lift basically takes you up to the great safe room, and we can... Oh, sorry, no it doesn't. That's the next bit. This is the prison bit. Sorry, you got a free basso first. I'm getting ahead of myself. So in this desk here, all the drawers are empty except for one. I can't remember what one it is, but there's one drawer. It's probably going to be the last one I look in. Oh, God. Is the last one? No, there it is. Look, yeah, there's a desk bell. So there's a desk bell in there. Make sure you get that bit of loot. And then we can head into the main prison. This guy's note on the floor. Pick that up if you're going for all the documents. And then free basso by pulling the lever switch at the door. Right, so once you do that, you basically say that you want to go and rob the safe because, you know, you're a thief or something. And, yeah, so you head up in the lift and move around up into the air vents. Here we go. And we can switch around, and this will take us into the big safe room. Hey, there he is. Right, so don't push that button just yet. Run around, up the stairs, round here, and we'll find another secret area. You get the little bit of music or the little note that denotes a secret area, so I'm assuming it's a secret area. But in here it gives you some flash bombs and the like, and there is also a gold gear on the floor, so grab that as well. I think that was just basically, and then come around and pull this button. That was a way of preparing you for what's coming up for a little battle sequence maybe, but you know, you don't necessarily need them. Right, so here's the big safe, and this is where I was talking about that combination earlier. So first of all, you need to expose the dials. So you push this button on this side, and there's one on the other side. So if you can go back into the documents and look at it, and it's like, Al, what's the code again?
Eastwick must have the original code.
It's 319.
And then the second part of the code is 018.
And the second part is 018. So where it says on the diagram 30 11 98, that's not the full code, you know, it's not 30 whatever, so the commas are the giveaway, you know, so 31, so use the commas, and the first 3 digits of it are the first 3 of the first combo, so as you just saw then, as I just put them in. Right, I hope you understand that. It's not the most easy thing to explain, but it seemed pretty obvious to me after a couple of minutes, so hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Right, so in order to get to the next part and another collectible, this guy here, I basically turn around when the mission starts, head up over the railing, wait for this guy to do his business here, and then I come and sort of sit in the shadows here. Then he walks back up. This is just my method of doing it, and this was the least resistance way I found of doing it. Don't take him out when he first walks upstairs, because them two guys down there are kind of walking about suspiciously. Wait for him to come back, then you can take him out nice and easily, and then wait a second, because then these two, look, you can see these guys. If you turn the light off now, those two guys get like really suspicious and they kind of mess up my karma. So wait until they kind of walk down and round there, and then you can turn this button off, which turns lights off all around this room, all around the edges. So very, very handy, and you can rob that loot for luck. But before you head off, where the button is, you want to look behind where this sort of smoke is. Head round here. It's quite hard to spot. If you look round, no, not there, James. No, it's behind you, mate. It's behind you. There, no, yeah, there it is. Look, there it is. Nice. And that is the final collectible, other than the main thing on the mission to get. Right, so once you've got this, you want to head out and right down the stairs, and then round, and then you'll see those two guys that we saw walking around earlier. They kind of walk up, and one of them, you know, he's on it, this guard. He knows something's coming. He really does. Look at him. Look at him. He knows. He knows. And his mate's not really on it, and he goes down the stairs, and he's kind of thinking like, you know, what are you standing up there for, man? He's like, I can see something. I can see something. I can see something really clearly in my eye. Yeah, it's an arrow. Yeah, gotcha. Right, so you can wait around for the other guy if you want, but I just thought, nope, sod it, I'm going to have it now. Be careful, this guy can be walking towards you, so you might have to wait, but if he's facing the other way, slink round, and then you get back on the safe again. So then you enter in the last three digits, which are Al. One.
No, 0.
Oh, I see to get it wrong now. Look,
018.
018. There you go. If you're as good as numbers with me, I suggest writing them down, having them next to you, because that can be a bit of a pressure part to get that in before you get spotted. And then that's it, you're in the safe and you pick up this nice little emblem. And I'm now going to edit out all the nonsense bit that comes next, where you're running around in the otherworld. And that was chapter 4, A Friend in Need, all the collectibles. What did I get on loot wise? Let's have a look. Let's have a little look, see. Come on, what did I get? Oh, see. I cut out most of the cutscene thing, but, like, you know, clearly I can't do it all. Right, so what did I get? I got all the collectibles, a bit of an opportunist, and I got 37 of 39. So there's 2 missing. So maybe one of them was the one that I kind of did that little pause thing. But please comment, let me know where I'm missing them, and we'll put them in or put it right at some point. But either way, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out for more on Click to Unlock. See you next time.